Hi Leos, welcome to your October 2022 horoscope forecast. This is a phase of eclipses that we are entering into, that is October and November, and then actually it carries on till about 2023. We started this phase of eclipses from November 2021 and it will finish at 2023. The eclipses are happening in Taurus and Scorpio, and which are fixed signs. You two Leos are a fixed sign. So we have Taurus, Leo, Scorpio and Aquarius, which are for sure going to get impacted by this. Now, when I'm saying impacted, it doesn't really have to be something really negative. It is just that any specific area of your life which has been stagnant, which you have been refusing to change, or maybe which has become a part of your life, is going to get evaluated again. So eclipses work as celestial checkpoints. There's been it's like having junk or a mess in a corner of a house, in which over a period of time, initially we are quite bothered by it because everybody reminds us and says, oh, that corner needs to get cleaned. But over a period of time, everyone sort of adjusts and gets used to that piece of that mess lying over there, and it becomes a part of our decor. Similarly, psychologically, what is it that maybe you have received feedback in the past, Leos, about whether it has to do with your relationships, whether it has to do with your work, and over a period of time, I would say that it has sort of become a part of you, and people around you have adjusted it. Not that they like it, but maybe in certain cases there is no other option, so they've said, okay, might as well grin and bear it. To give you a hint, the similar eclipse between Taurus and Scorpio happened in 2012 and 2014, during the 2.5 year circle as well. So it would be worth your while to look back and see as to where it is that you were during that phase of your life. What were you doing? Were you in between jobs? Were you in a challenging relationship? Were you going through a divorce? Were you getting married? Were you still in a relationship which was completely one-sided? Were you still refusing to commit? Were you still in a place where you found it hard to let go of that relationship? So what were those lessons that you learned, Leos, during that almost a decade back, during that phase, out of all that you were experiencing in your life? So that could give you a hint of what is it that is going to be transiting with this eclipse. It doesn't mean that 100% it's going to get replicated, but it often gives us a cue as to what happened and what we did. And also, I think the beautiful thing is it gives us an opportunity. It opens up a window for us to make that change. So maybe earlier, if you didn't have the resources or you didn't have the wisdom, to make that change in you or around your surroundings, maybe now is the time that you can bring about that change. Eclipses also tend to bring about a lot of emotional intensity in us. We could feel quite overwhelmed, and they could almost be this sense of taking very impulsive decisions. And more so because Taurus is being transited by Uranus, that is he's a wild boy of astrology. He rules the internet. He rules anything that is really unpredictable. So that Uranian energy is something which is very hard to control. So for you also, it could be that certain decisions which are especially big decisions as far as investments are concerned, real estate is concerned, maybe buying that fancy car is concerned, maybe you need to be thinking carefully through it. I'm not saying don't buy it, but if you are making those purchases just to feel or fill a void in your life, or to feel better temporarily, and you're suppressing something more bigger in your life, maybe you need to be looking at it and seeing as to what is it that is creeping up again inside you, which you're trying not to address. Wonderful time for therapy. Any time, in any case, I think is wonderful for therapy, and for those of us who consider that our partners or our children or our family needs to be working as a counselor, then you really need to be seeking someone professional who can hold your hand and give you that other unbiased perspective. So it's not just about having a good chat, Leos. It's really about figuring things out at a root level, because Scorpio is also ruled by the warrior planets of Mars and Pluto, and Taurus and Scorpio is where the eclipse is happening. So things are going to get really intense and deep, and they're going to be going at a foundation level. So it's worth your while to be seeing as to where it is that these feelings or these sensations or these reactions are stemming from. Where is a sense of, what is your sense of self-worth, and what is it, the conversation that you have with yourself. All of those things are going to be coming up for evaluation. I'll break down the month for you. On the 2nd, we have Mercury, and Mercury is going direct in your house of earned income. This is the house of Taurus, and also it's the house which governs your self-worth. So a lot of you will be having conversations around investments. Maybe some of you are getting a small promotion at work. Maybe you're looking at increasing your income. You're looking at another way to earn money. Maybe there's an added revenue system that you're adding. Maybe you are moonlighting and you are maybe helping another friend with a project which also sort of gets you some money. On the 9th, we have a full moon that is there in your 9th house, and it is joining Jupiter. So it's a time, full moon in any case is very, they're very emotional, because something is culminating, things are coming to head, something is finishing, we are releasing something, we are letting go of something, or something is literally at times being taken away from us, or we are having to walk away from it. So for you, this really speaks about your belief system. It speaks about your spirituality, and also it speaks about long distance travel. So you could, for a lot of you, you could feel quite deeply spiritually during this time, and you could be realizing that how your own belief, your value system affects who you are as a person with this specific placement. If you find that you're being affected positively by it, that you feel better after, whether you're meditating or you're praying or you are following a certain spiritual guide or a guru, or it makes you feel better, then by all means explore it further. And you can even go to the extent of, I would say, dictate your life around it, that you literally sort of lead your life by what it is that is defined by that specific spiritual learning. And but if you find that it's just affecting you negatively, that it's bringing about a lot of fear in you, it's making you doubt yourself, it's making you question your decisions, then I would say that scrap it all together and start afresh. The growth that is going to be happening around this time is going to be centered around your mind, and you could finish, for some of you, finish a program or a study. Maybe you're finishing a course in certain cases. And growing mentally, of course, leads to growing personally as well, and you may be making a very deep connection between your mind and your spirit, much deeper now. And for some of you, if there are some legal dealings that are there, and they could be, where there may have been a complication, that could finish now. But and especially if it has been quite drawn out. But in certain cases, if it's been slightly acrimonious, it could turn out to be little bit, could take some more time as well. Your view of the world could be something that you would want to expand now. You could be opening yourself up to more ideas. You could be broadening your imagination, and you may feel that it's almost like Leos, there's a sense of that, oh, I have to do this, I must be doing this, I need to be learning more about different cultures, different ethnicities, how do they work. You would be trying your best to fit in, or even I would say marry to the mold. So if you are working with people who work in different countries, you would be very keen to sort of learn as to how it is that they work or how they live, and you could be trying to imbibe them. It's also a time where you could be quite open to having fun, but usually I would say in an adventurous way. So wonderful time to be going for a trek, a great time to be going for those nice long bike rides. And it's, I think, just a time where you need to be focusing on just things which are pure fun and they don't really have an agenda, you know. So you don't have to sort of meet people because you are networking, but just for the pleasure of it. On the 11th, we have Mercury, which is moving into your house of communication. This is also the house of siblings and the place where you live. So this again speaks about maybe, you know, you're helping a sibling out and a lot of conversations are happening with a sibling regarding a certain decision. Maybe the area where you live, you're trying to better the community, you're trying to add value over there. In some cases, it also means, you know, that you are trying to close a deal. There's a lot of client interaction, or there's some amount of conversations that are going on, negotiations that are going on as well. On the 24th, we have Sun that moves into your house of home, which is a house of Cancer and also rules your mother. And we have Venus over there. And then on the 25th, we have a solar eclipse, and this is not at all. We are closing the month on the 30th with Mercury also that comes to this house. So we have a big party that is happening in your house of home. So this specific house of foundations, your house of your belief system, your house of values, things that you grew up with, things that make you who you are, is coming up for evaluation. That is sort of being really brightly lit. They can be that, you know, while you know, there could be some amount of stress, or I would say tension regarding some issues at home. Maybe there's some things that you're questioning right now, or maybe, I think, whether it is the not just the anger, but I think it's either the sadness or the disappointment which you're just trying to suppress during this around this time, and you don't want to address it. But I think it's a wonderful time to literally be clearing clutter physically. Yes, you heard me right. You know, even though there is an emotional intensity that is going on, at times when we physically remove things around us, they tend to sort of lighten our emotional state as well. So wonderful time to be decluttering, Leos, and especially if you're at your parents' place, because this house rules your mother, house of Cancer. Maybe there is a relocation that you're thinking about. Maybe there is that house, a house needs to be sold, maybe something needs to be bought, and for some of you it also means that you are you know, making it more easier, that place more easier, convenient for them to live. So I think reorganizing the way the house is set up, and you know, whether it is sort of a home project, maybe renovation is there, all of that, I think it's going to be also bring about more easier conversation. So if there is some childhood trauma, say for example, I think while you're doing all of this decluttering, making it more convenient for your parent, maybe those conversations could be without really having you know, expecting like, oh, I will finally feel very released, or I need to sort of get it off my chest. I think this is something which needs to be shared by you, and not in a very dramatic, or not in a very you know, accusatory way, which I don't think so will be, because you are trying sort of not to, you're trying to suppress it. Mercury, of course, coming out here is going to be again bringing about conversations about, do we sell the house, do we keep the house, how do we maintain the house, how do we renovate the house. Then there is again that entire association of the you know, the more sort of the community thing around it. You know, if you are going to be there, then the value or something, you know, feel that needs to be given back at the place where the home is. And in certain cases it also speaks about buying a new house, but most, I would say, the focus is largely on renovation and making it more comfortable. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Leos. I'll see you again soon. Do remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I would love to hear from you. Do drop a comment below whether the content resonated from you. It encourages me to create more content. I'll see you soon.